Working with different selectors and combining them was a bit complex, but it's just a matter of practices. The more we practice, more it will get interesting and we will start having more fun with the CSS. Now let's see some of the common property values in CSS that we can use. We have been already using different values in CSS from the beginning. For example, color keyword values like red, blue, green, etc. Also for applying length, we saw the values in pixels. Alright, first let's see what are the different ways to apply color values, then we will see different length values. Color. Primarily, there are 4 ways to apply color within CSS. That is keywords, hexadecimal, RGB and HSL values. Probably we all know that colors are the combination of RGB, that is red, green and blue. So all the 4 ways are just the representation of RGB colors. By mixing different shades of RGB colors, millions of colors can be created. Alright, let's see first keyword values. Keyword values are just to say the name of the color which we want to set within CSS. For example, red, green, blue, black, etc. Here we have 2 paragraphs on our page that we can see here. Let's zoom our page a bit. Alright, let's define a class to first paragraph, maybe pending, and for the second paragraph let's apply class success. Now let's target this paragraph using pending class here first and set the background color maybe orange, and for success class let's apply background color maybe green. Now let's check out the result here. We can see the first paragraph is having background color orange and the second paragraph is having background color green. Although it seems simple to use keyword values, but it may get difficult to remember the name of the colors. That's why we have other options also like hexadecimal, RGB and HSL. Okay, let's discuss about hexadecimal values. The hexadecimal values are represented in 3 or 6 characters. And the value always consists of pound or hash sign at the beginning. For example, here we can see that these are different hexadecimal colors. Alright, let's apply the color values in hexadecimal. For orange, let's say hash FF6600, and for green color we have hash 008 3 times 0. Okay, let's check out the result here. Now we can see that the paragraph background colors that is applied in hexadecimal values. In the hexadecimal values, the first 2 characters represent red, the third and fourth characters represent green colors, and the last 2 characters represent the blue color. The character can be numbered 0 through 9 and letters A through F, upper or lower cases. Here we can do one more thing inside the hexadecimal values, is that if the first 2 characters are matching, the third and fourth are matching, and the last 2 characters are also matching, then instead of 6 we can represent the color in 3 characters. So for example, we can replace this color with F60. Let's check out the result. We do not find any changes. Alright, after the hexadecimal values we have RGB and Rgba values. The RGB colors are represented with the function RGB, which stands for red, green and blue colors. So now let's change the value in RGB here. So let's say RGB, and inside the braces let's apply 255, 102 and 0, and for this let's apply RGB, and inside the braces let's say 0, 128 and 0. Save the file and check out the result. No changes because we replaced the hexadecimal values with RGB values. The RGB function accepts 3 values in integer with comma separated. The first value represents the red color, second green, and the last value represents the blue color. And the value can be anything from 0 to 255. Then there we have Rgba values. The Rgba values are represented with function Rgba. It's just that we are adding an alpha value to RGB colors. So now let's replace our RGB values into alpha values. Say, so at the end let's add A, and here in the values say 0.5, and here also A, say at the end 1. Save the file and check out the result. We saw that there is some changes for the first paragraph because we applied alpha values here, that is 0.5. In RGBA color, the last value is alpha values, which must be between 0 to 1. Usually RGBA colors are defined to provide some transparency to the color, as we have applied here. If the alpha value will be 0, the color will be fully transparent or invisible, and if the value is 1, then the color will be fully opaque, and if the value is between 0 to 1, then the color will have some transparency depending upon the value. After the RGB and RGBA values, we have HSL and HSLA values. The HSL colors are represented by HSL function, which stands for hue, saturation and lightness. So now let's replace the color in HSL values. So let's get rid of these RGBA values. For the first paragraph, let's say HSL, and inside the braces say 24, 100% and 50%. And for this success class, let's say HSL, and inside the braces we have 20, 100% and 25.1%. Save the file and check out the result. The first value in HSL color accept the number between 0 to 360, which identifies the degree of color on the color wheel. The second and the third values accept the value in percentage between 0 to 100%. The second value is for saturation of the color, where 0 is the grayscale and 100% means fully saturated. And the last value is for the lightness of the color, where 0 means fully black and 100% means fully white. Then there comes HSLA values. As in RGBA value, A represents the alpha values which decide the transparency of the color. Similarly, we can also add an alpha values in HSL color, which is represented by function HSLA. So let's apply our value in HSLA. Say A, then at the end maybe 0.5, and then here also A, and at the end maybe 1. Save the file and check out the result. So we can see that the first paragraph background got some transparency. Among all these different values for the color, the most widely accepted value is the hexadecimal and RGB values. It gives us a wide range of options and is supported by almost every browser. There are different ways to define lengths also in CSS. We have seen pixel values, which is one of the ways. Actually, the length values are categorized in two categories, that is absolute and relative. The absolute lengths are always fixed. For example, we have pixel, centimeters, inches, etc. Whatever the value is defined, it will always remain fixed. It won't respond according to the size of the screens. One of the most common and widely used absolute value is pixel. So let's apply something in pixel here. Let's say for the pending font size, say 24px. So the font size of the first paragraph is changed now, that is 24 pixel. The pixel is equal to 1/96 of an inch. The pixel unit is being used for quite a long time, but nowadays we use responsive web design concept. That's why pixel unit has lost some of its popularity. Pixel does not provide flexibility, so mostly relative units are preferred. But for beginners, the pixel unit has always been trustworthy and it will always remain. Alright, there are some relative lengths also. The relative lengths are a bit complicated and different from the absolute lengths, as they are not the fixed unit. It relies on other units of measurement. The most common relative units are percentages, EM, REM, VH, VW, etc. For now, being a beginner, we will stick to the absolute lengths only, that is pixel. But yeah, later on when we will start working with the flexible layout as well as the responsive web design concept, then we will discuss relative units in more detail.